Hello, my name is Rachelle Martinez. I am going to show you how to make some digestive herbs in a digestive spice blend. This blend was slightly altered from Carly's website, Maha, Vidya, Yoga, and Ayurveda.com. And we are going to make just a basic blend today. I have a cast iron little small pan that I like to use. It's kind of my special spice pan. I like cast iron because I feel like it heats really evenly and well. You can use any pan though. I will tell you more about digestive spices as I heat up the spices. First, I'm going to heat up fennel, and I usually take about a tablespoon if I'm making a small batch. If I'm making a bigger batch, I'll do like a half a cup spices. So this is a little over a tablespoon, but I'm just gonna dump it all in there. And then I turn on the stove to about a medium sort of fire. I let it heat up a little bit higher than I'll keep it. I kind of shift through. Sometimes there's some big pieces in there that you don't necessarily want to be chewing on when you do eat the digestive spices. Fennel and coriander are the two that have the most of these hard bits that you have to just be careful of. I'm going to let it heat up a little bit, again, on the higher heat. And so when we think about spices, we want to select kind of more heating spices for this digestive blend, because digestive spices are essentially to heat up your digestive system so you can assimilate and break down the food a little bit more strongly. Taking the spices, we want them to be hot and kind of stimulating to the system. So finding coriander, cumin, ajwain, I also have some dill, are some of those heating spices that help the stomach to kind of get ready to receive the food. And if you eat them after a meal, it also can help digest and break down the heaviness of your meal. Great for after Thanksgiving and Christmas, or just like a heavier meal that you feel maybe lethargic or sleepy or just weighed down. Sometimes it can just be a form of gas that you feel. So this has a little bit of a kind of golden look to it now. So I know that it's coming into its best form. And you can also smell the fennel. It smells delicious. It's one of my favorite smells. I'm going to turn down the heat some. Bring out a bowl to pour the spices in, because they're just about done. Maybe just a hot second more. And they're good. So I'll pour that in there. And I'll do a little ajwain. Ajwain is, this one I actually got off of Amazon because I couldn't find it in my local store. It's a really special, just teeny seed that has this amazing fragrance right when it starts to get roasted. Like fennel kind of can take a little bit of time to have the smell, but this one is almost immediate. And you just want to get it just lightly roasted. This one doesn't take too much time because it's so small. So another reason why digestive spices are so good for us is it really can be this useful tool to use in our daily life when sometimes we want to go out and we want to have a hamburger that we maybe normally wouldn't eat, and this is coriander. Or maybe we want to have a nice cocktail, but having those things have, digestive consequences. So taking life and still having fun and doing them maybe less than, often, and being able to kind of help buffer our digestive system. So I was picking out some sticks from it. And it'll help our digestive system take a little less of a hit on those things. So if we do go out for a drink, maybe afterwards having that drink, you can come home and take some digestive spices, about a teaspoon or less, maybe a half a teaspoon. And you can either eat them or you can make a hot tea out of it. But I recommend taking the tea blend or hot water and then the spices. So the hot water helps, alleviate some of the toxic buildup that can happen. And it helps the digestive spice blend kind of soften and go into the stomach. And I'm pulling out some dill. Smoking a little bit, so I'm going to turn it down. Dill is another beautiful smelling one. I love how this makes my house smell. So another beautiful thing about the digestive spices, I use them in the whole home. So my daughter, sometimes she'll eat some if she's having a bellyache or gas, and it helps alleviate that really effectively. And I use them also in my cooking. I cook a lot of my meats and vegetables with it, either sprinkled on top or in the soups that I make. This blend is really versatile for everything. But I usually make a very big batch when I make one. I like to have enough to supply at least a whole week or 2 weeks. And then I keep it in an airtight jar. And so another thing to mention is the seasonal blends of digestive spices. In the summertime, you can put some toasted coconut in the blend with I like to always put just a little bit of sea salt in. It can kind of stick and get really salty. So you want to do a very small amount of salt. And maybe even for the summertime, you definitely want to do Himalayan salt because it is less heating in the summer. In the wintertime, you can do a little bit of jaggery or hard cane sugar. It's a different form than just like cane sugar that you would buy in a bag that's, slightly tan. And you can see the cumin. And that smells about done. Maybe just a hot second more. And so adding those special things in the wintertime, the jaggery, the summertime, the coconut, and it adds a little delight to this digestive spice blend. In the spring and fall, we like to keep it simple and not adding anything because of the variation of the season. So just keeping it to the spices and maybe a little bit of Himalayan salt. I hope you enjoyed the class today. If you have any questions, feel free to message me through my Instagram, Sedona Ayurveda, or you can reach out to Carly. We are so happy that you bought this Ayurveda cooking class for our India trip, and we appreciate it so much. Sending lots of love.